If you're a Windows user and you want to try out FreeBSD, is it a nightmare to dual boot? Let's find out. This is a much requested video. I've had this quite a few times with people asking, can you show how to dual boot Windows and FreeBSD? I kind of put it off because I'm not a fan of dual booting. I think it's you can have data loss unless you back your data up first, or if you make a wrong move then your system won't be usable. So I've got to issue a warning that if you do anything on here and it messes your system up, you do it on your own back. With that being said, let's get on with the video. Right, we're going to put a new install of Windows 10 on the test machine, so I'm just going to delete the existing partitions. I know there's probably a quicker way to do it than I'm doing it, but we're doing it this way. Right, it's a small hard drive, it's 80 gigabytes. So what I'm aiming to do is to just split it in half Windows 10, half FreeBSD 12. Right, so we're just going to fast forward all this because it does take an awful long time in Windows. Right, okay. We're going to search for the disk partitioner, or the disk management, or whatever it's called in Windows 10. There we go. Disk management. Okay. Now first we're going to have to shrink the drive. So if I can remember how to do this. Yeah, if it was right click and shrink. There you go. Like I said, I'm just going to shrink this to about half. Right, so it's telling me that there's just roughly about 46 gigabytes that I can actually use. So I might as well. Just going to use all that. I know I could use a smaller amount, but I'm just going to go where it recommends. There you go. That was relatively quick. So there's 28 gigabytes for Windows and 45 gigabytes I'm going to do for FreeBSD. You could use alternative if you want, but I'm just going to keep it at this one. Just going to exit and do a reboot. I can find my way around. There you go. Now we're going to reboot into a copy of FreeBSD on a USB stick. And I'll go through the usual install procedures. So I'm going to fast forward all this because, you know, it's not the aim of this video is to show you how to install it, it's to show you how to set it up as a dual boot. Okay, when it comes to partitioning for a dual boot, I'm just going to keep this simple. We're going to use UFS. You could use ZFS, but I think there is problems regarding that. I'm going to keep the UFS and use auto. I'm going to select the hard drive, and instead of entire disk, I'm going to partition. And you're given this option. You just want to press OK to keep it because you want to use the entire 45 gigabytes. And it will automatically carve it up for you. Now let's say you can partition individually if you wish, separate areas, and that's fine. But for this one we're going to keep it simple. And commit. And there we go, start the install. I did a spelling mistake which did throw me a little bit. I'll show you when I re-log in. And just reboot, take out the USB stick, and we should log into the FreeBSD session. Windows is still there, don't worry. See, when I put my name in, I actually just put 1G instead of 2, and that actually took me a while. I didn't record it, but it took me a while to realize that. Right, so what we need to do now is to use gpart to list all the partitions, and it should show you, yeah, there you go, the Windows is there on ADA0, and ADA0/4 is a BSD. So we need to install the boot code on the primary partition, which is ADA0. So in order to put the FreeBSD boot code in there, just put boot 0 CFG for config, and then tell it where you want it to go. So we're going to put the bootable flag in, and it'll be ADA0. So the primary partition. And it should have done it. Okay. Now, if we reboot again, what will happen is we should be represented with a FreeBSD simple text boot menu. So shut down R now. I could do you could type in reboot, but I thought I'd try this one. Right, there we go. It's a simple menu, and really the ones that we're interested in is the top F1 and obviously F4 for FreeBSD. So it defaults to F1, and we just press enter, and we're going to boot into Windows just to check everything's okay. We didn't give it much wiggle room. You know, we reduced the drive size pretty drastically to it just touches the install of Windows. So you really want to try and not put it so tight. But it works nonetheless. It does complain. So just put the password in, and yeah, there we go. Right, I'm just pressing the power down to shut the machine off. And reboot the machine again. This time we're going to choose FreeBSD. It doesn't show up on the screen, but we'll just press F4. And just press enter. And we're now booting into FreeBSD. Type in my misspelled login name. There you go. And everything looks nice. And just to check, it's FreeBSD 12.1 release. I haven't updated it or up it. It's as it was installed. And then that's it. That's how you dual boot in a more simplest form Windows 10 and FreeBSD. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Well done if you've made it to the end of the video, and if you found it useful in any way, then please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to make sure you don't miss future videos, then please click the subscribe button and the notification bell. This helps the channel grow so that I can keep on making content that helps the FreeBSD community grow as well.